Good day, everyone. Welcome to our discussion in our subject Change Management and Transformational Leadership. I am Arnel Pampilon Kolkol, your discussant in the topic Different Change Management Models. To start with, let's take a look at the importance of change. Change is inevitable part of organizational life, for this is no permanent in this world except change. Changes promotes growth, development, where individuals and organizations learn new skills, adapt new circumstances, and it enhances competitiveness in a rapidly evolving world. This time, let me discuss to you the different change management model. First is the Lewin's change models. Lewin's change model, developed in the 1940s by Kurt Lewins, he has three-step model for change, also known as the unfreeze, change, refreeze system. Lewin's model is most commonly used in system and process improvements. Unfreezing allows an in-depth analysis of current system and procedures as well as creation and buy-in for the reason for change. While in the change, it ensures future business capability which is built and the organization is onboarded. In the freezing part, this anchors the change in the system and culture of the organization. We have next the Deming cycle. When you take a look at the Deming cycle, this also referred to as the PDCA, a short for P stands for plan, D is for do, C is for check, and A is for act. The Deming cycle was developed in the early 1980s. Deming cycle is best suited to process-oriented changes, meaning when we talk about oriented changes, these changes will be focusing in the improvement on how tasks and workflows are executed within the organization. These four steps, or the PDCA, work in a continuous loop and systematize change management within continuous change management program. Here is the McKinsey 7's framework. The McKinsey 7's framework, you take a look at the slide, we have the two part, the upper part and the lower part. The upper trees, namely strategy, structured system, or known as the hard SS, meaning this hard SS is easy to identify and management can directly influence, while the lower three S's, namely skills, staff, and style, are known as the soft S. The soft S are more difficult to describe, less tangible, and more influenced by culture. In the McKinsey 7's framework, shared values positioned at the center to emphasize that it is the core foundation upon which all other elements of the organizations are built interact. The next change management model is the Cotter's 8-step process leading to change. John Carter set out this popular 8-step change process in his book Leading Change on 1996. The change model in Carter's 8-step process leading for change has an arrow which is arising. We have here the three steps, or the first three steps, which group into a stage which refers to us creating climate for change. Creating climate for change literally create, build, and form has an urgent command which is to create new changes collaboratively leading to its vision. While the 4, 5, and 6 steps drives engagement and enablement of change, enlist, remove barriers, generate small wins that encompasses with shared goals. The next 7 and 8 steps accelerates and anchors the change. This sustains growth and institute change when there is a need to be changed. In the Akdar change model, the model was crafted by Jeffrey Hyatt, founder of Prusai in 2023, as change management model that focuses on people change because organizational change can only be happened when people or individual change. The Akdar change model has an abbreviation of ADKAR, which stands for A, the awareness of what is the need to be changed. D is the desire. To what extent does an individual needs to be changed? Participate and support the change. K is the knowledge. What we're going to be changed or what is need to be changed. Next, the A for the ability. This refers to how insistent individuals implement the need for change. Lastly, the R, which is the reinforcement, refers to the sustainability of the change. Next, we have the easier change model. Easier change model is a method that is a top-down change process. Top-down change process meaning decisions are made at the executive level and communicated down the hierarchy. This also means that leaders set the vision, define the strategy, and outline the steps where employees must follow to achieve the desired change. To specify, step 1, 2, and 3, namely envision, active, and support, are motivational tasks where the leadership team sets the vision, inspire participation, and offers support. While the 4, 5, and 6 are implementation, measurement, and feedback tasks designed to keep the change process on a right track. The Bridges transition model was developed by William Bridges. This model helps organizations and individuals understand more effective work through human element of change. The change process in this Bridges transitional model begins with ending, which means what currently is, or letting go of uncertainties, then enters into the neutral zone where the transition from the old state to the new state actual happens and end with the new beginning. Hence, Bridges transitional model or transitional change model can be used with changes to individuals or team rules and responsibilities. Now, this time, let us discuss and understand the difference between emergent and planned change. As what I have said a while ago, that change is an inevitable part of organizational life. Understanding the difference of these two types of change, whether emergent or planned change, is very crucial for effectively managing transitions and ensuring organizational success. First, we have the emergent change. Emergent change is unintentional and evolving, arise spontaneously, emerges from complex interactions within the organization. On the other hand, arises spontaneously and evolves over time. It is often adapted, responding in real time or as long as it has a need to be changed from internal and external environmental shifts. Now, let's take a look at the emergent change examples. First, first examples of emergent change. Change in work practices due to informal practices. This means in a workplace wherein there is an informal practices that is not suitable and applicable in a certain organization, emergent or urgent change may arise and it will spontaneously implied for the group or institution's success. Secondly, example is the cultural shifts driven by employees' behavior. In this situation, I can relate it in the situation of our school, particularly our school guards. We have two school guards shifted for day and night time steadily. Guard 1 duty is for daytime and guard two's duty is for nighttime. When the school administrator heard and proven that guard 2 for night shift did not do his work religiously, the school administrator abruptly or urgently did a decision to make a new shifting schedule which is differ from before. This shows an example of a cultural shifts driven by employees' behavior. Last example of emergent change is the adaptation to sudden market shifts. In the adaptation to sudden market shifts, this involves adjusting a business strategy, the products, or operation in response to changes. Now let's move on to the planned change. What is planned change? So this is intentional, deliberate, and goal-oriented. Planned change refers to a deliberate, meaning done consciously and intentionally with structured effort to implement specific organizational improvements. This involve setting objectives, developing strategies, and executing actions systematically. Planned change typically used for major strategic initiatives, whereas emergent change is more suitable in environments and situations that requires quick, adapted responses to expect unexpected challenges. Moreover, understanding both emergent and planned change enables organization to remain agile and resilient because combining these two approaches of changes may lead every institutions and organizations to sustainability and success. This ends my presentation. Thank you for listening and God bless us all.